Welcome back, everybody. I'm out here in Lamar, Colorado for the 6th straight year to hunt pronghorn with my buddy Cameron and his family.
Ghost of the Prairie.
It wasn't pretty. The wind is absolutely terrible. One of my favorite ways to make a venison or an antelope steak. Opening day starts at Daylight Donuts in downtown Lamar. In my opinion, the best tasting donuts in Colorado. The sausage rolls and Cajun pies are killer, and I'm partial to the maple glazed Long John with bacon. Then it's out to Cameron's family's farm and fields. Lamar sits in southeast Colorado on the high prairie, just a little over an hour from the Kansas state line. Pronghorn hunting is difficult.
Pronghorn prairie goat.
They can run 55 to 60 miles per hour, literally as fast as a car, and they can see movement as far as 4 miles away.
Ghost of the Prairie.
They're escape artists.
High Plains Houdini.
I have a doe and a buck pronghorn tag this year, but we're dealing with the wind, which is insane. Sustained winds of 30 miles per hour, wind gusts at 50 miles per hour. I'm trying to get some shelter here. The wind is absolutely terrible. Most of the pronghorn are bedded down and out of sight. Plus, it's 92 degrees. We tried everything imaginable. We were exhausted mentally and physically. In the end, I got a small doe. It wasn't pretty. We're not going to show you the details. Pronghorn number 1 down. I had to waste my buck tag, and I was gifted a doe from my friend Marvin. We headed back to the farmhouse, got the meat on ice, and got cleaned up for dinner. Bart fired up his Blackstone and brought out a huge platter of juicy ribeye steaks. He seasoned them and cooked them in butter. Simple, high heat, great sear, and the griddle took care of the rest. It was nice to get out of the wind and have some fun around the griddle, sharing stories from throughout the day. Now I need to get home, process the meat, get the grinder out, and fire up the Blackstone Griddle, and show you one of my favorite ways to make a venison or an antelope steak. It's a griddle chicken fried steak. As you can see, the weather changed. It's no longer 92 degrees with 50 mile per hour winds. I have some peanut oil in a cast iron skillet on top of my Blackstone. We're gonna let that heat up. Ultimately, we wanna get that temperature up at least 350 degrees, maybe up to 370. Antelope backstrap. Unfortunately, didn't get much footage from the hunt. It was just brutal, as I mentioned a few times out in the field. I think I have a still shot though, courtesy of Cameron, of me pulling the back straps off of the antelope. That's the piece that runs along the backbone of the animal. It pretty much contains the filet mignon, if you will. It's the most coveted piece of wild game. We trimmed all this in the kitchen last night. This is one of my favorite ways to make, look at that, chicken fried steak. I'm actually gonna go ahead and butterfly these, which pretty much means slice them like that. Get them a little more thin. Lean, 100% protein. You can see we trimmed the fat off. There's not much fat. There's a little bit of connective tissue. We call it silver skin. We're gonna go ahead and tenderize these a little more with a mallet. When you make chicken fried steak, you always want to tenderize your steak because we're gonna cook these up. We're gonna fry them up really, really quick. Even gives you a little more real estate. Now, you don't need to do this with wild game because these back straps are so tender as it is, but this method of hitting it with a mallet will allow you to get a maybe less than perfect piece of steak from the grocery store that maybe isn't quite as tender as a filet, and tenderize it, it'll taste just the same. So tenderizing. I've set up a little chicken fried steak dredging station. We have eggs, 10 in here today, but no rhyme or reason to that. A whole bunch of flour and my steaks. Crispy fried onions. You know, French's make these. French's, it's kind of a subtle, maybe a garlic or an onion flavor, I guess. This brand that I found at Sam's Club is heavily seasoned with a smoke flavor. Really good. You can also use Lipton onion soup mix and mix a bunch of these in with my flour. This is going to help make that coating extra crispy. The onions are very well seasoned, but if they weren't, if you're using the French's brand, for instance, you can use a little essential blend, any combination of salt, pepper, and garlic. Speaking of essential blend, I'm going to put a little bit on my steaks, break my eggs up. When I make the batter, my theory is the same as when I make French toast batter. I'd rather have more than enough than not enough. We have a bunch of steaks here, so we're gonna cook a couple for the recipe, and then we'll cook a few more after the fact, after we're done filming. Use a fork, grab that seasoned steak, put them in the eggs, in the egg wash. You could use liquid eggs if you want to. Pull it out, let it drip for a second, and then straight into the flour, crispy fried onion mixture. We'll do all of these at the same time. That's a little recommendation that I'll give you. Then it helps your steaks to be done cooking at roughly the same time. Back to the fryer to check the temperature, and as you can see, 359, 360 range. That should be perfect. In for steak numero uno. Down in to my oil, maybe a ½ inch oil. It's not too thick, but as you can see, we're shooting for that 350 range as a minimum. That'll allow for any temperature reduction after we drop the steaks in the batter. We'll let those cook for about 2 minutes or so before I give them a flip. Another cast iron skillet onto the right burner. Couple of tablespoons of flour, a little bit of butter, a couple tablespoons melted down. We'll check our steaks one last time. I think we're gonna be good. These are looking perfect. Mix that flour up with the butter. We'll add about a cup and a half of milk. Meanwhile, I think the steaks are done. They look just the way I want them to. I'm gonna remove them and put them on a paper towel and keep them wrapped in foil till we are ready to eat them. Grab my butter spoon, go back over to the fryer oil, and we'll put a little bit of that fryer oil with the crispy pieces of the chicken fried steaks into my gravy mixture. We're trying to make a white gravy. We'll just do this as a one-stop shop today. Essential Blend works for everything. I like to put salt and pepper in my gravy. Starting to simmer. No one's gonna complain with a little bit of garlic. Thickening up really well with just the milk. I'm gonna come down below, turn that dial off altogether. If you need to make it more creamy or more thick, heavy whipping cream, nobody's gonna complain here. It's just a matter of seasoning to taste. If you need a little more salt and pepper, go ahead and do it. We like black pepper in our gravy, most people do. All the experts, I'm not one of them, they always say that if it coats the back of your spoon, you should be okay, and as you can see, it's coated the back of my spoon already. It's only been about 5-6 minutes, so the steaks are still nice and warm. Get out my steaks. Look at those. My goodness, they're still really, really warm, really hot actually. Lay them down on my little platter, grab my gravy. Okay, we'll try to make this pretty. See if I can do it or not. Layer a little bit of gravy, use my spoon. There we go. It'll help me to achieve a better ribbon of gravy on top, and a little bit of curly parsley. Take a look at that. And here's a few that I made after we shut the camera off for the video. My goodness, they look even better. Hopefully you're not getting sick of me saying, take a look at that, but take a look at that. It keeps getting better and better. One more, take a look at that. I think it's time to to give it a try. When we're running and gunning, when you're chasing antelope, it's the adventure, it's all that, but ultimately hunting is part of conservation. My goodness, absolutely beautiful. Let's give it a try. Crispy fried onions, that garlic at the end. Wow. To say that that is killer is an understatement. For my camera girl, my beautiful wife, coming in here. Something that Ted Nugent, the famous Ted Nugent, said in his book, Kill It and Grill It. He talked about making chicken fried venison steaks after a successful hunt. Always wash it down with an ice cold ginger ale. I appreciate you coming along on this adventure. It started out with donuts, crazy shenanigans in 92-degree heat with 30 to 50 mile per hour wind. I got one antelope. My buddy Marvin tagged another one and gave it to me, so we have two. We're grinding up the meat right now to make hamburger, but we obviously save the back straps because we like doing stuff like this. I'll get the recipe for the chicken fried steak portion up at blackstoneproducts.com. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up, please, and subscribe. Please subscribe to the Blackstone channel. Until next time, this is Todd. Praise the Lord and pass the chicken fried steak from the Colorado Pronghorn. Stay tuned.